Hey guys, welcome to Jake's Stories. Today we're going to go over my unusual X-Men fan casting. Alright, so some of these names are a little more thought out than others, but these are all actors that I have seen at least a little bit of, and I like what I've seen from them so far. Alright, so up first with the X-Men, we have Professor Xavier. We're going to go with Jude Law. I've seen him in a lot of things. He's a really great actor. He often plays a good guy, but I still think that the character of Charles Xavier would give him a lot to work with and be a really fun challenge for him. If you haven't seen him play a baddish guy in Skeleton Crew on Disney+, you should probably check that out. I recommend it. Alright, now we're going to flip over to the villains. We'll come back to the X-Men later. Magneto. This one, you're probably going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to go with Henry Cavill. Now, we've all been wondering what role in the MCU would be great for Henry Cavill, and there's a lot of roles, honestly, and people have said Captain Britain, Sentry, but now we already have a Sentry. We're about to have a Sentry in the MCU. It's not him. Hyperion would be good. Sentry, Hyperion, those are Superman-like characters, so it's a little too on the nose. I think switching him over to the villain side, still making him really powerful, Magneto would be a great character for Henry Cavill. And I think they should go with the route of he's enhanced, either his mutant powers have kept him young or somebody else experimented on him to keep him young. He was alive around World War II, and that's when they first started the super soldier serum. So there could have been a different serum that was administered to Magneto that kept him young. I think they should keep the whole background of Magneto intact. Henry Cavill would bring a lot to this role. He's a great actor. It's time that we saw him as a villain, and Magneto is a very complicated villain because he's not always villainous, and it would be great. I think it would be cool to see what Henry Cavill and Jude Law, kind of the dynamic that they can have together. Alright, jumping back to the X-Men, let's look at Cyclops. So for Cyclops, I got my little cheat sheet here. I'm going to go with Joe Keary. Okay, Joe Keary is from Stranger Things, and I've seen him in Free Guy. He was the guy in the real world. I haven't seen him in a lot, so this is kind of a reach, but I think he would do well. He kind of has that look in his eye, like he could be a good Cyclops, I think. I would want him to bulk up a little bit. You know, Cyclops doesn't have to be super buff, but definitely a little more built than Joe Keary was in Stranger Things or Free Guy, but I don't think that'll be a problem for him. And then the next one is for Storm. This is, now I don't think I'm going to say this right, so I apologize, but it's Edebiri, and I think her name was floating around as Storm, and honestly, that would be awesome. I've seen her only in The Bear, but I've seen 3 seasons of it, and you know, you can see quite a range from 3 seasons of a show, and she does a really great job. So yeah, that'd be cool to see her in that role. Now I did 2 X-Men, so I'm gonna go back to a villain, and we're gonna go with Mr. Sinister, and I'm gonna pick Taylor Kish. So Taylor Kish played Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine, and he did a really great job. It's too bad we didn't see more of him, but you know, things went south with that movie. I think Taylor Kish could be a really good Mr. Sinister. I want to see him play a villain role. Alternatively, I could see Henry Cavill play Mr. Sinister. That was mentioned on the John Campea show, if you haven't checked that out. But I think Taylor Kish could really do a good job as well. I'd like to see what he would do with the role. Alright, let's jump back to the X-Men for the role of Phoenix. And I'm saying Natalia Dyer. Now, she's also from Stranger Things. There are actually quite a few Stranger Things castings in here. May seem kind of weird. She did a really good job in Stranger Things. That's, I think, the only thing I've seen her in. So this is kind of a reach as well, but I think she could do the role justice. I was debating on if I saw her more of a rogue or a Jean. I think she would be a better Jean. That's just my take on it without, having seen any auditions from anyone. So, okay, next up, let's do another X-Men character, Beast. Okay, this one's gonna be, I don't know, probably think I'm crazy, but I want to go with Glen Powell. Now, Glen Powell could be a really good Cyclops. That would be great. But I think he would also be a really good Beast. I just saw the movie The Hitman on Netflix and Twisters, and Glen Powell's just coming out with all these movies, and I think he has a really good range, and I think it would be fun to see him play the gentle giant scientist who can fight when he needs to. So yeah, that's my reason. So for Mystique, I wanted to go with Anya Taylor-Joy. She's a really great actress. Mystique is a really mysterious, cool character who definitely needs a strong actress. All right, let's jump over to the X-Men with Wolverine. This one might be my most hated pick. I don't know what your opinions are here, but for Wolverine, I'm thinking Zac Efron. He's actually a really great actor. He's been in a lot of different things, played a lot of different roles, and I would really like to see him, in the sideburns and just get that grumpy demeanor on and channel Wolverine. And he'll be a slightly shorter Wolverine, which we haven't seen before. But that's not the main point. The main point is he's a really good actor. He's definitely seems like he'd be game for bulking up. He might already be the right size right now. Instead of staying on the X-Men side, since we just did Wolverine, let's jump over and do Sabretooth. Sabretooth, my pick is Alan Ritchson. We've seen him play a tough, mean, but fair good guy in Reacher, and we've seen how big he can get. He has just something in his eyes. He has those eyes that he's kind of like, he just looks like he could be really mean. It works really well as a good guy who's just kind of has a dark side. That might be good for him to play Batman. But over on the MCU side, I'd like to see him dig into just this savage, vicious Sabretooth character, who's actually more intelligent than we give him credit for. Alright, so let's jump back over to the X-Men with Gambit. Now, actually, I think Channing Tatum did a great job, and I hope that we see Channing Tatum in Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Secret Wars, maybe even past that, but more as cameo type thing, more as showing up, being a part of the multiverse war. After that, an established X-Men, I think, should have a new Gambit, and I think that should be Timothee Chalamet. So I think he would do a really great job. Again, I think he should bulk up a little bit. Doesn't have to bulk up too much. But I could see him as the mysterious Cajun who blows up whatever he touches if he wants to. For Rogue, I was thinking, now I'm starting to rethink this. She might be a little bit older, too old for Timothee Chalamet, but probably not too far off. I was thinking Alexandra Daddario. I think she could be a really good Rogue based on a few things that I've seen her in. Now, jump over. I'm probably gonna just finish off this list of the villains really quick because I'm not super attached to them. Some of them more than others. For Avalanche, I did put Miles Teller. Now, I don't think he wants to go from being Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four to a second-rate, silly kind of bad guy of the X-Men, but they could make Avalanche pretty cool, and I think Miles Teller would do a great job with it. And I could see him playing off of Kieran Culkin as Pyro. It'd be interesting to see those two interact as friends. My casting for Juggernaut is one that I do like a lot, and that is Clive Owen. Just watched him in that trailer for The Cleaner. I've seen him in a few things. I think he's really good, and I think that he would be a good antagonist for Jude Law's Xavier. For Apocalypse, this one is actually a casting that's been going around with other people, and that is Dwayne Johnson. I think he could do a really good job. I really want to see Dwayne Johnson in different roles. If you've ever seen him in Pain and Gain, he does really good. He can actually be a really good actor, and I want to see more from him. This last one that I put on here is Fabian Cortez, and he's a lesser known character, but he enhances other mutants' powers. He has worked in the comics with Magneto and Apocalypse that I know of, and this is kind of a random choice, but I just pictured Andrew Garfield in this role. He's kind of the character, kind of betrays Magneto, and I just think it would be interesting to see Andrew in that kind of a role. I don't think I've seen him like that yet, so that would be pretty cool. All right, so now if we go back to the X-Men with Shadowcat, and my pick is Millie Bobby Brown. Yes, I know, Stranger Things, but I think that she would be a good fit for Shadowcat. A little bit younger than everyone else, and she could do it. For Nightcrawler, I picked Robert Pattinson. He's over on the DC Elseworlds. He's Batman, and he's played a vampire, and now he could come over to the MCU and play a mutant who looks like a blue demon and can teleport. I think he would be great with that. It could be cool to see him just jumping around and teleporting. He would probably be great with the German accent, and it would be quite a bit different than his role as Batman. So I think it would be a pretty good role for him to do something different. I think he'd like that, but I don't know what he likes. My last pick on here is Colossus, and I pick Tom Hardy to play Colossus. And Tom Hardy has proven that he's really good at voices. He does the voice for Venom. He does a really great job with that. And I think he could pull off a really good Colossus who has there's a lot going on in Colossus's mind. He really cares about people. He's another gentle giant, and I think Tom Hardy would throw in some personality there. So anyways, that is my unusual X-Men fan casting. Let me know what you guys think about that.